Well, hello, everyone. Hello to beautiful Sunday brunch. I'm sorry I forgot to put I'm sorry if people didn't get the notice. I forgot to put it up. I was putzing around, playing with the lighting, playing with my cat, doing mantras, making myself some ice water. That's better. I got to get it right for you. Mila is fascinated by her kitty television. I need to cross my legs, but do it in a way that's modest. Hello, children. Welcome to Whimsy's house where nothing is rehearsed. Oh, thank you for coming to brunch. Well, you know that things start to pick up after about 5 to 10 minutes after I get on. So usually I like to just start with us new folk. Where's that light coming from? Is that it? Mila, you're not going to come and look at those birdies, so I'm going to close this. She's out for the count. She chased finches all morning. Yes. Hi, Gail St. John. Good to have you. Welcome to Fairies and Angels. Welcome back. Whoa. See, I'm fighting the sun. The sun is going this way. So, did y'all miss me? Did y'all miss me? We have a lot to talk about. Looks like the days of wine, roses, and Trump is coming to an end. Oh dear, could it be? You've been promising us that for the longest time, Dr. Whimsy. Could it be? Could it be? Could it be? Reminds me of that song. That's the night that the lights went out in Georgia. Yeah. Georgia, man, they're very angry at number 45. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so while everyone's showing up, I want to just say welcome to all of you. No, I don't take drugs. I'm normally like this. I'm a very weird person. That's why people show up. Anyway, this is our Sunday get together. We get together for brunch. We talk, we kibitz, we have a meal. This table extends to the entire world. We only have one rule at the Oracle of Whimsy. Anyone want to tell our audience what the rule is? I don't even drink alcohol. Occasionally a little herb, but even that I stopped doing because let's face facts, that stuff is expensive. So I'd rather grow turmeric, turmeric root. Very good, Alexandra. The rule is this: be kind to all. I'm going to teach you the rule of the Oracle of Whimsy. Yes, Paul Simon has a rule. Does everybody know Paul Simon's rule? It's called everything put together falls apart sooner or later. Isn't that rather it's entropy, right? It's called Simon's law. Okay, well, now there's an Oracle of Whimsy law. Did you all know that? All right, let me teach it to you. It's called the law of the Oracle of Whimsy. You can teach it to your friends, and there goes one of our friends. The law of the Oracle of Whimsy. While people are showing up, we're going to go ahead and share a law. Isn't that cool that there's a law? Be kind to all, and then all will be kind to you. Be kind to all, and all will be kind to you. This is the law of the Oracle of Whimsy. Yes, yeah. So if the entire world took heed and was kind to all, then suffice to say, all would be kind to you. This is the law of my alter ego, the Oracle of Whimsy. that exist in the realm of my fantasies. All right, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for joining our table. Be sure and turn and say hello to everybody else at the table with you virtually. And be sure also to tell us where you're coming from, where in the world you're coming from, what you like to eat for brunch, what you're having now, what time of the day or night is it? We got some people over in Australia that get up nice and early, I think it is. Are they 6 hours ahead of us? 6 I can't. 18 hours ahead. They're 18 I can't. So that would mean they would have to be getting up very early, right? So what do you folks do out there? You feed your goats and watch the Oracle of Whimsy. I'm sure they're laughing, but we get a lot of so if it works out that you're 18 hours ahead, then you get up 6 hours early. So if we start at help me with this, people. Anyway, welcome. We're glad to have you here. And are you eating at a restaurant? Are you eating at home? Some people like to go out and sit at the restaurant, look on their phone, and have brunch with us. And I think that's really cool. It's 2 p.m. in Brooklyn. Well, traditionally, I think brunch goes from like 9, 10 a.m. till about 3 p.m., 3:30. Santa Monica, if you're like looking to if you're going to Bloody Marys for drinks, when's that go? Till like 3:30? They keep extending it. Because a lot of people don't wake up until like noon, 1 o'clock, and because you went to a party or something, especially in Los Angeles, because they have a lot of award ceremonies and one party, and it just goes on and on and on. So on the weekends, if people do brunch, it's like, I'll meet you at 2, I'll meet you at 3. So we have rather extended brunches in the beautiful West Hollywood, don't we? Those of us who come from, and I have to say the best brunches I've ever had have been in West Hollywood. Yeah. Some good food down there on Santa Monica Boulevard for those of us who like our brunches. We have someone here from San Francisco. I saw our PR person, PR extraordinaire, Mark Rhodes is in the house. I know he's from San Francisco. Welcome, welcome. Y'all like that law of the Oracle of Whimsy? I was trying to come up with something musical, so I thought that was really cool. A lot of people from California. Wow. Hi, Texas. Boy, I don't know who that guy was that was running from the society that spoke to us. He sounded like he was a bit of but I learned some things about prostitution from him. And being what it was like to be a male prostitute too. Boy, interesting things I learned about the wild, wild west from that person. All right. So today we are raising money for United Nations to feed the world, focusing a lot on Ukraine, but also parts of Africa are suffering right now because they're having, I guess, food prices have gone up double in some foods in Kenya, for example. So, because they seem to do this stuff better than the rest of us, I went ahead and I decided to join with Google again through UNHCR, the United Nations, to help Ukraine, etc. Does that work for everybody? Spring Hill, Florida is here. Nice. All right, so I want to give a little bit of gratitude. We have a couple of hundred people here. More are going to be showing up, but I want to give gratitude to everybody who sponsors the channel and gives of their time for free. Condescent Moon, Melissa Miller, Mark Rhodes, both gives us free PR advice for the channel, but he also is here just to show support. We've made him a new moderator, unbeknownst to him. But all the moderators, I think we've mentioned Melissa Miller, Condescent Moon, Geriatric Brig, Super Queen Bee, Debbie Brady, your dreams coach, all of these people that come here, they don't get paid. They just care about the channel and they want it to be a safe space for everybody. And so we just want to acknowledge with gratitude, those people that were kind enough to do that. I also want to give a shout out for those people who sent gifts and who are contributing by giving gifts to the channel. That's very, very nice of you. I want to give a sprout to one of our sponsors, Sprin Gene Natural. Sprin Gene Natural. This was sent over by Elizabeth over in New York. By the way, Elizabeth is a dead ringer for that really hot British actress. No matter how old she is, she's 70 and she's still really hot. I don't know. Anyway, so Elizabeth, thank you so much. So Sprin Gene, the reason why I was excited about this product is because it's 100% natural. If you're sensitive to fluoride and chemicals and you haven't found the right natural toothpaste, I think you might be happy with this company, Sprin Gene. First off, it's sweetened with xylitol, which I prefer to stevia and sorbitol and the other stuff. So it's safe. The other thing is that it contains a natural antibiotic that I really think we're just starting to understand how powerful of a medicine it is. Black seed oil. I don't know if you all know about the black seed oil, the acacia gum, the birch tree xylitol. Those are the main ingredients, both as the antiseptic, but also to give your teeth a nice clean flavor. There's multiple different spiringine. This one's vanilla, which I'm not a fan of. It tastes just like Christmas cookies, which I know that this would cause a kid to go crazy. Oh, hi, Joyce. Thanks for helping today. Joyce Pietris is also volunteering today. But if you want to go with the natural, or if you're looking for something, this is the kids' version, Christmas cookie vanilla tastes like. But I think you can get it on Amazon or just Google the name. But this is actually my favorite toothpaste that I've discovered, and it was a gift. So I wanted to give a shout out to them. All right. The next shout I want to do is to Deborah Loshbo. I'm going to have to push this back. I apologize. Oh, thank you. She sent me a nice note. Wow. I think Deborah are you still in Georgia, Deborah? Look at this. Is this not beautiful? Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Oh, it's the tarot. Deborah is the energetic detective, another remote viewer. We are everywhere. Yes. So hope you all can see that. If you are I think you have a wait with her, but she's quite good. Anyway, look at this. Look what she did for me. Isn't that pretty? Thank you so much, sweetie. Look at that. Is that not incredible? Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. I think I know where I'm going to put it up on a wall. I know exactly where it's going. Thank you so much. That was awfully nice of you, Deborah. Wow, beautiful. Okay, so the next gift, I'm really excited about this one. Isn't that pretty? And it's the tarot. Is that not awesome or what? Natural toothpaste. They come in flavors like natural mint, watermelon, vanilla, apple mint with no artificial preservatives. Oh, yeah. Well, I liked the mint when I got she gave me different ones of the Springine. Let me type it out so that you guys can get it. I have sensitive teeth, so I like something that's natural, doesn't have any chemicals in it. And I was excited to see that they were using that black seed oil, because I think that there's a lot we're going to start learning about that particular plant. And also zinc is a natural antibiotic. So if you're trying to go in that direction, check out Springine. Okay, so this I'm really excited about. This is a product that I've been a fan of for a really, really long time. This, I was thinking about who could benefit from this. And I have a list of people that would benefit from this. It was sent as a gift from I'm going to have to pull back even further. I'm sorry. Have you heard of this company? Rose Forever. And when I say rose forever, I mean these roses last forever. So it comes to your door. If you want to send as a wedding gift, this is kind of nice. I think of it like in this Jewish tradition. I would send this if I got an announcement of a wedding. It doesn't necessarily stand as a wedding gift, though it could, but I think it's kind of a nice congratulations gift. The other thing is that bride, after you're married, you can keep this in your bedroom, and then the scent of the roses gets into the clothing, and so you kind of smell like a rose. You smell like a bride for a year. Anyway, what I liked is the display of it. You open it up, and it comes like a hat box, which is why a lot of people will keep it in with their clothing. And they've done it in such a way so that the scent of the roses last for years and years and years. And that's why I just thought it was a beautiful wedding gift. The other thing is for people who, you know, as a gift for somebody, if they love cats, if they love animals, and they want to keep their clothes smelling nice, or if they just want a nice scent to have, that's another reason to get Forever Roses. The link, if you want to get a discount, is in our community page. I think they gave us something like 25% off, which thank you, by the way. Was it 2025? I don't want to overclaim, but anyway, so they would get something that looks like, look at this. It's very, the other thing I like about it is that it's old fashioned, and I'm really into the Victorian era. I just love this product. Now I got a smaller one of these from a fan, and I loved it. And it was kind of like perfect because I have Mila, and it keeps my clothes smelling nice and rosy. You would open it up. And then what's nice is you can select the color of the roses. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my God, and the smell. It's like what's incredible about this company is that they are fresh, like they've just been picked, and they smell like a greenhouse, like they've just been picked. I don't know what they do to preserve the scent, but it's absolutely incredible what they're able to do. Forever Roses, beautiful engagement gift, a beautiful gift for anyone that's wants to have some nice scent in the home. Also to bring back memories. It's also a beautiful romantic gift between partners, I think also. Like if a man or a woman wanted to send something romantic to their beloved. He, they, she, them, everything in beyond and in between, everyone loves roses, right? So it's also a beautiful way to send love in a way that's going to last a little bit longer than just 24 hours. Isn't that amazing, Paulette? Did you guys want to see it one more time? Yeah. Oh, grief. That was another thing. A lot of people were asking about the different colors with these. You know, you can also get the colors associated with grief, with white, with a wedding. I think they even had like blue and pink and purple. Purple is kind of cool, particularly if it's an LGBTQ wedding and you want to send something and you don't want to go with a traditional red. I don't work for this company, by the way. They're not paying me. I just love the product, and I already owned one of the. I already had someone send it to me, and they said, "Would you like?" I'm like, "Is the Pope Catholic? Can you?" And they're like, "Do you want one?" I'm like, yeah, but I just think also if I were ever in love and I wanted to send roses to somebody, this would be a really great way to do it because the bouquet would last so much longer than, yeah, isn't it incredible? Anyway, so thank you. I'm touched, and I absolutely love it. It's going to go in my closet. Mila goes in my closet and she leaves hair. She doesn't do her business in there, but anyway, I like opening it up for an hour or so and letting my clothes have the nice scent. I can imagine it would be a beautiful thing to receive from someone if you were in love with them because you'd be able, particularly if they were traveling. You think about like GIs and people, soldiers that have to be gone for a year or something, and you give them something like that, or they give something like that. And then when you, I believe scent has power. That's the other reason why I like it, because I'm really into the whole idea of aromatherapy in nature. I wasn't paid. Oprah gets paid. I'm not paid. It was just, they said, "We like the channel. Would you like some free flowers?" So, anyway, so no, it's free advertising just because I like it. Alright. So, how's everybody holding up? Alright, we had a chance to say hello to everybody. We had a chance to find me. We had a chance to see the beautiful, scarf from Deborah. I'm very excited about that, and the beautiful toothpaste that doesn't cause me an allergy from Springine, and of course, those amazing roses. Hey, I love presents, what can I say? Alright, we gotta talk. Now, cross my legs again in the most modest way. So, I had a remote a couple of days ago. Trump was on the phone. He was frantically calling people. I assume he was trying to speak to Pat Cipollone, and there were some men around him. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them represented Mark Meadows or was associated with Mark Meadows. They grabbed him and pulled the phone away. So that leads me to suspect that the people that took the phone away are somehow feeling that they and Trump are in legal jeopardy every time he grabs the phone and calls a potential witness for January 6th. So I want to talk a little bit about, how is everybody okay? Is everybody ready for the remote? Oh my gosh. All right, because I had a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't believe anybody took Trump's phone." Okay, so I think they're trying to take his phone because uh, when people are when you have people that are all being protected by a group of attorneys that are representing you, and they're breaking away from those attorneys, and people like Pat Cipollone are not contradicting the other attorney, and you're on the phone calling Pat Cipollone trying to get information. This would be Trump. "Hey, what are you doing, Pat? What are you try?" That's the point at which the lawyers that are still left, the people that are still left do what? So is Mark Meadows, I assume, also getting legal help from these people because he was in the vision? It pulled his phone. Discuss it. Let's discuss it. What do you think it means? The vision, the men surrounding him, him on the phone. They pulled the phone and it's connected to the communication with Pat Cipollone. Why do you think they did that? Why do you think in the vision it looked like that? Why do you think that could be? Why did they literally pull his phone? Anybody have any ideas? Do you think that Trump is desperate? Do you think that people are returning his phone calls? Do you think his kids are returning his phone calls? Do you think his relationship with Ivanka is okay right now? Like, these are this is where my head is going. Maybe it's where your head's going too. Then in the remote, I didn't go all the way in. It was a passing thought, and I found him trying to talk to, I assumed, Pat Cipollone. There were 4 men around him. They took his phone. I think that when you're desperate and nobody wants anything to do with you and they're starting to break away from your legal counsel, which is what the mob does, at that point you might get frantic. You might get desperate. You might make phone calls. You might threaten people over the phone, right? And so then what happens? You put yourself in jeopardy, you put your legal counsel in jeopardy, you put the people who are still with you getting legal counsel in jeopardy. The other thing I'm thinking after the vision, so this is the first thought I have after I see the vision, is that yet again, he doesn't listen to his legal counsel. What's the other part of the vision? Candescent moon. Candescent moon, you're a remote viewer, right? I think she's a remote viewer. Yeah, I mean, that was my thought is if they're this scared, first off, they know that Cipollone is under oath. So if a look, I think we're figuring this out as we go along. If Cipollone is under oath, then he can't lie to the January 6th committee, which means that if Trump is continuing to communicate with him and the January 6th committee asks him about it, he has to say exactly what the president says. So if you are thinking you're going to prison, you would take the phone away. But what's interesting also about the vision is that Mark Meadows was in the vision, which means that Mark Meadows, he's going down. Oh, shamanic journeying. Well, HCRV is a secular version of early shamanic journeying. So, yeah, you've been at it longer than me. You're an old timer. We're new school. Well, I think very good point, Copper Broom, is that they are going to use mental capacity as a defense, just as they will with Giuliani, but specifically with Trump because he's mentally insane. He had COVID when you can say he had long COVID, signs of mental incompetency. He refused to have a full competency checkup in the hospital. In fact, he was worried about Article 25 and he checked himself out. We did a remote on it, remember? Then January 6th happened and they did meet to do art. So the very thing he feared, they were thinking about doing because he was acting crazy. And it was escalated after he got sick. So is it a legal argument? Absolutely, he has a legal argument. Are people happy about it? No, people are not happy about it. But it is a legal argument. Any questions about that? I mean, I think I feel sorry for him in the sense that he thought if he had any capacity to love, it was his daughter. And to have her abandon you and betray you would probably be that would be the height of feeling abandoned. Never mind that the alt-right magazines, even news agencies are weary to have him on because they think he's crazy. I mean, it's really gotten bad for him. I mean, I can imagine the narcissistic wound that he's dealing with, you know? And you see how much pain he's caused to the world, and you think, well, anybody who's caused that much pain in the world to so many children, can you imagine how much pain he was in as a child to want to inflict that much pain on so many other children? It's another way of looking at it. Okay, so people asked also if I could go back in and take a look at Ukraine and please clarify what I meant about Sweden and Finland's involvement. People are very confused, they're worried. I want to talk about the war in Ukraine. You could do that, galactic goddess, but it doesn't kill the microbes as well as if you add something like a black seed oil, which has natural antimicrobial properties. It will pull things out, but it won't necessarily change the microflora. The average American probably, needs a little bit of an antiseptic of some type, I would think. All right, so here's the map of the Ukraine war. Wait a minute, is that the old one? I think that's the old one. I wanna get a better version of it. I had a oh, no, that is the yeah. You can see I have other notes. I don't wanna show them because that's further in the show, but, take a look. This is the war. Okay, so I just want you to take briefly a look at the positioning of everybody, the countries involved, and uh, that is not quite what I wanted to show you. Basically, the takeaway here is that people can talk all they want, but Russia's surrounded. So the other takeaway here is this the right one? Damn it. See, I have earlier versions of the of what I drew, but give me a second. I apologize. Whimsy's notes. They all get destroyed eventually anyway. I don't keep these things around. How can you do that, doctor? I do the videos. Some remote viewers, they're so fastidious. Not me. I don't hold on to things. Oh, brother. Okay, so basically the takeaway is that they're surrounded and they've got missiles pointed at them everywhere. Yeah, this is it. So I thought I did a better version of that. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Anyway, so what it looks like, I'll find it after the show ends. All right, so you have Russia here. You have Sweden and Finland here, right? You have Ukraine down here. You've got the coast down here. You've got Romania over here. You've got Poland over here, right? You've got Russia here. So the Swedish Air Force comes in like this. And so they can't go in to Ukrainian airspace. The other thing is that their Air Force can go really, really low, they were telling me. So they can actually go under radar. They can do things like that. But what they're doing is they're blocking the supply chain and they're blocking the advancement of Russia in kind of like cat and mouse, but also their Air Force cannot advance. So that's what's happening on the Swedish side. The other thing is that their supplies are stuck and can't move and are gonna be hit. The supplies in the Donbass region, which is causing soldiers in other areas to become abandoned without resources based on what I'm seeing. So they block them from here with their Air Force, and then the ground troops will come in, probably from the, west. The other thing I felt was that Poland. Oh, you're seeing it backwards, right? I don't know. It looks straight up, but backwards. How, you know what I mean? To me, looking back, it looks backwards. Yeah. Anyway, so I also felt like the missiles that had been stationed in Poland would intercept. Um, that basically the Russians feel that everything has been intercepted. They can't move forward. It'll be intercepted by long to medium range missiles that are located in Poland. They also have missiles located in Romania. Their air force is intercepted by Sweden and Finland. They can't get food supplies out to troops that are further out from the Donbass. They won't be able to randomly bomb. They've lost 20% of their military and they are bankrupted. And so they're in a quagmire. The only thing that Russia can do is threaten to continue to bomb, even though they have a stranglehold. They can't move forward, and try desperately to get Zelensky to agree to give them 15% of Ukraine. We want to keep a Crimea, we want to take the Donbass, and then we'll stop. We'll stop because we are completely economically devastated by they couldn't afford this war in the first place. And then they lied to the Russian people about just how much they had been stealing from Russians for years. So when they went in and had no real plan, this is basically what we're getting from Sergei Lavrov, is that nobody can agree on a plan. And every time they do agree to a plan, it gets knocked down by Putin. And so they go in and they wind up getting themselves killed, wandering around confused like chickens because Putin changed the plan and now people don't know what the hell to do. Or they're having to go back to the front of the front area to find out what the holdout is, because supplies have been blocked. So this will continue and it's going to get worse. So here's the message from NATO. We've let it be publicly known that we plan a ground assault in August. July 5th, July 5th, Sweden and Finland joined NATO. They signed the documents July 5th. Everything will be up and ready by mid-August, but based on the documents that they signed, if it's an emergency, they'll be taken into NATO ASAP, and so that because they signed. So it's over strategically. Do you see that? It's over strategically because there's nowhere for them to go. There's nowhere for them to go. There's nowhere for them to what are they going to do if they threaten nuclear weapons? The mid-range intercepting missiles in Romania and Putin will and Poland will intercept, and nuclear clouds will rain down on Russia. So what do you do in a situation like this? The country is bankrupted. Russia is completely bankrupted. The people are left in the dark. They don't know what is happening. They can't afford their herring that Sergei Lavrov talks about, where the head, you've got to cut the head off. It's, it rots from the head. He must have had a grandmother that made him pickled herring. So they can't, an egg, $1, $2 for an egg, right? So, that's the question. So he can either surrender or it's going to be bad for Russia, because the energy from NATO is also, no, we're not going to give you 15%. No, you can't stay in Crimea. Yes, we are your biggest nightmare realized. No, you can't bomb or threaten. You'll be intercepted from the north by Sweden and Finland. No, you can't cross. Do not collect $200. You need to leave. It has that aspect. And not only do you have to leave, but you're facing human rights charges. So it's not like they can sit down and have a conversation, and this is why the war continued. This is what was not public information because they kept saying, "We're gonna keep bombing until you give it to us. We're gonna keep bombing it." No, well, we're not going to give it to you. We're not going, "Well, I could drop a nuclear bomb on that nuclear power plant." Yes, you could. We need to protect the skies. So you negotiate until you can get some sky protection. They got the sky protection from Sweden. It's over. Whether Putin realizes it or not, whether the Russians realize it or not, they're bankrupted. It's over. They're surrounded. If they do something stupid, it will lead mostly to Russian casualties at this point. All right, so I open up the floor if people would like to ask any questions about the remote and what I see for, yeah, what I see with that. I think that's a good question, C. Boyle. We can take a look at Putin's health. He's evidently, I guess it's now public knowledge, he has something like a non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, something like that. People can live for a long time. They usually will get immunotherapy, but if he has ascites, that's not a good sign. That's usually something we see in advanced leukemias. And somebody else had said multiple myeloma. The point is well, multiple myeloma has a very poor prognosis. Yeah, Melissa Miller. I'd be curious to see what the other readers are saying, but it does look like they will get Crimea back. Yeah. He looked really ill on TV. Probably Red Cat. I would think so. I would think that it would be, I mean, also, human beings are human beings. If you were in leadership in Russia, what would you do at this point? I mean, let the good times roll. It was fun when they were stealing everything and partying and had prostitutes, and there were no laws and no rules, and the church was okay with it. But now it's payback time. People want answers. They wanna know why they've lost basic public services. They wanna know why the healthcare system is crappy. They wanna know why the school system has become crappy. They wanna know where their money went to. They wanna know why wages are stagnant. They wanna know the same thing that Americans wanna know, and the answer is that your taxes were pilfered, and the money came from a lot of the money that was stolen was from their defense, which is why their defense looks terrible right now. $25 for a hamburger and 2, well, yeah. $34 for a cheeseburger. Yeah, Elizabeth, and some people in DC are accusing some of these contracts in DC were also similar. You give the contract to your friend doesn't necessarily have to do anything or produce anything, and it comes out of the defense budget. Selling shirts, wasn't that what Cheney did? They sold, uh, a towel for $100 because they had a government contract. Oh, give the money to businesses and then they'll be contracted out. The problem with that is it became a security risk and also it became more expensive and the quality wasn't necessarily good. Oh, Lavrov, he's talking about a pain here. It When he was talking, it was quite painful, and so when I asked about it, he said that he thinks he has an ulcer and he has to see a doctor. He was he w So he's probably has an ulcer. Look, if he's having a lot of tension, he's probably popping ibuprofen, and that's not good if he needs to stop doing that if he's having ulcers. No, I don't see them attacking because I think Russia's bankrupted. All right, and then the last remote, I don't I know some of you hate the royal family, some of you like the royal family. I think the royal family in Britain is a microcosm. It's kind of it's kind of like teaching us something about our moral compass, right? Because they're supposed to be amoral, right? Or apolitical, but it's more like amoral, right? So I did a brief remote of Meghan and Harry's recent visit to I was very surprised by it. Meghan, and Harry and, Charles, he'll be Charles III, right? When he becomes king? Yeah, he'll be Charles III, right? Is that right? Oh, I put a money instead of sorry about that, and I meant to say and. Okay, so basically, it was kind of neat because I was putting myself in the shoes of the family and what it was like to come back home, and I was trying to see who in the royal family would be willing to talk to me because you never really know when you're floating around in the room. This was the meeting of Lilibet, with her grandfather Charles, the family. Also, Megan, no, Kate popped in briefly. Anyway, it went something like this. This is, I think this came from Charles. He said, I thought this was very funny. It reminded me of my own family. Charles said, everyone feels guilty. We're just not sure why. I just thought that was such a ch I just oh my god, I can I when the family gets together and you know that people are deeply angry and you feel so guilty and you thought you had worked things out, but you're all sitting there at a family get together and Charles looks and you pop in to see how if anyone will talk to me, and I looked over at Kate, and she looked so guilty and embarrassed, and she just was really withdrawn from the whole thing, and then I looked over at Charles because he saw my reaction, and he saw Kate's mumbling about, and he said, "Everyone feels guilty, we're just not sure why." So that is what it is to be at that get together. So then something interesting happened. I sent my handwriting as Prince Charles to Cash Peters. He might just jump it in the trash. Oh, Whimsy, she's a cuckoo barrow. But this is not my handwriting. Um, and I've never seen Charles' official handwriting. But this was probably not his official handwriting, and I'm not a handwriting analyst, so I can't tell you too much about it, but I have some ideas. I'd be very curious if Cash does take a look at me channeling Prince Charles, what he picks up from the handwriting. So it was interesting. I sent him a picture of he's seen my handwriting versus me channeling Charles. And the difference is that I tend to go in circles. I have round open, whereas Charles, Prince Charles, it's up and down, rigid, like it's very emotional though. So the first thing he said when I noticed Kate's reaction, we heard that, and he said, this is also from Charles, Prince Charles. He said, "It's like a kind of mutual atonement. We're all kind of everybody screwed up. We all screwed up. We got together, and it was like a kind of mutual atonement." And then my handwriting breaks off. You can see I start to lose my handwriting, and then I go into a different handwriting down here. And so I took photographs for Cash Peters to analyze, At that point, I lose self. And then his emotions come through. And at that point, the writing becomes very rigid. Charles says, I'm very proud of my son because he did what I couldn't do. He broke away. He's a man now. He made me proud. He made his own way in the world. I can't help but respect him for that. See the handwriting, how choppy it is? And see the handwriting above is my handwriting after coming out of trance. Isn't that he's got the worst. His real handwriting, his diary handwriting is bloody chicken scratch. Chop, chop, chop. Can barely read it. You see my handwriting? Isn't it horrible? I mean, I just think he's got the worst handwriting. So, where I don't know what Cash would say, but how I felt was like I have to be a royal and I have to be in the military and I have to be still. And so I can only jump up and down like Tigger, up and down, up. I have no emotional wiggle room as Charles. And so I felt so emotional about my son and I could only go up and down and my handwriting became like this jagged chicken scratch as opposed to this creative, and it became very choppy up and down, up and down, up and down, like a little boy soldier jumping up and down, rigid. And I thought, wow, that I don't know if it's just me projecting, but that's what I thought when I looked at the handwriting. Pretty cool, huh? Okay. Would you all like to have a group reading? It was just and also there's but I guess what surprised me about it was that Charles was so, "Damn, man, you" kinda like how my mother was when I got into medical school. "They let you in?" No. It's that it's like, "You can't make it on your own. You need the family. You" like, "I have to stay in this hell." It's a kind of abuse, right? She'll never leave. He'll never leave. And he left, and he did it on his own, and he stood as a man, and my wife's starting an oat milk company, right? We're making it. We're making it. And there's this part of his father that's actually really, really happy and proud of him. "Man, you did it. You did it. I couldn't have done it." So that was surprising to me. I didn't expect that. Yeah. All right. Empath's prayer. Modest little leggy there. All right. How about would you all like a prayer and to get a free reading today for the collective of the community? See if Spirit wants to come in and not Blitz just yet, sweetie, but we will do a Blitz. The empathy prayer. Somebody had said, "Can I say the empathy prayer, honey? I don't own the empathy prayer." It's like anybody giving anybody a reading can do the empathy prayer. Nobody owns it. Nobody owns HCRV. Nobody invented HCRV. That is very true, Paul. He's very brave. All right. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, as a community, we say, Amen. Thank you for the donation, Anna Levy. It's most appreciated. I really could relate to what Charles was saying and the look on Kate's face. What do you got to be feeling guilty about? I don't know. I just feel guilty. I don't know why. Just the general feeling. She must be an empathetic person, Kate. I just do. You know? You didn't actually, you didn't cause the cyberbullying. I know. I could have done more. I mean, it's that kind of a feeling. No, Kate didn't cause it. All right. Oh, Kate's all right. She's actually, she's a good person, which is what Megan said. Megan said she's a good person. You don't have to hate her, folks. But people still want to hate her. So it's like it's a game. I don't know. You got to hate one to hate the other. I don't know. Sounds awfully confusing. All right, where we are at right now is a time when a lot of you have the opportunity to do a little bit of traveling. It's got that nice energy that's coming in for July. The world is coming together. Really feel we're moving away from war energy, don't you? Yeah, this is like back to the garden. Remember, we had also talked about everybody cool the soil, protect the forest so we don't have fires, water conservation. It's all about getting back to the garden, man. People don't want to fight. Turning these swords into plowshares. It really has that energy. People are done with this. There's also going back to frugality. A lot of people are concerned, of course, prices are up. I'm going with the flow. I'm just doing rice and beans. Somebody was insulted that I said Cuba was the land of rice and beans. I'm a foodie. I love Cuban food. And yeah, it is the land of rice and beans and culture and music and poetry. Yes, and revolution and all of that stuff. But rice and beans. So I know a lot of people are struggling financially. Four of Pentacles is a frugality card, but it's not a poverty card. That would be the Five of Pentacles. So we're not poor, but now is the time to pull back on the finances. You may want to check a couple of great channels I like. Those Vegan Guys, if you want to make friends in Manchester. Those vegan guys. You know what? I'm going to try some of those mock meats they're talking about. Some of them are cheaper, much cheaper, and some of them are really healthy, like the falafel burgers and things like that. Doesn't mean you have to give up meat. It's just it's cheaper. It's better for the planet. It's better for everybody overall. So maybe have the rice and beans be the main course, and then if you can have some baked chicken or something, a little bit of that to supplement. The idea is that we really are pulling back financially a lot with the Four of Pentacles and trying to come up with meals and use everything we have, reduce waste, etc. That's frugality. That's not poverty. Those vegan guys, and then the other one that I think is excellent, if you're part of a family of more than a few people, you would probably, even as a single person, I get great ideas for Under the Median. Yeah. If you have the time, you can do it from scratch with chickpea flour. It's the same thing. Might be cheaper just to buy the flour and make your own and then spice it up yourself. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying be a vegetarian, but our karma card is frugality, and then the base of is the world. So the world is healed. It goes back to the social contract of humanity. We do have a social contract with the earth in all religions, the Bible, the Torah, and certainly amongst atheists. It's just the science of the importance of being an environmentalist. So everything is about the world. Everything is about going back to the world, returning to the world, taking care of the world. It's about the family legacy for many of us, what we want to leave behind. I'm sorry to say many people have left family behind. This could also be a time when we have chosen our families, and many of us have decided that there are certain people that we love, but we just can't have them in our lives. There's a lot of energy now of the King of Swords over the legacy, and that could be coming in because a lot of people are establishing new boundaries with people who they felt that they were not treated right by. And we have building new foundations. Some people could be buying real estate in the coming months or reinvesting in real estate. I'm seeing financial investments here for many people. It may be in the area of fixing up homes, making your homes tidy, comfy, investing in real estate in your future. A lot of you are also focusing on mastery. I like that nice mastery card in your past. And letting go of the things that do not serve you. The things that were important to me at 20 are certainly not important to me at 60. Yeah, I mean, there's this grief about walking away, and there's something about being the Ice King. Nobody wants to be cruel. No, it breaks your heart to have to walk away from somebody who has a personality disorder, like a borderline, because it is hurtful to them. But sometimes there are people you just can't have in your life. It's not healthy. And that basically is what they're talking about. I mean, you can see here with a legacy card here, and also the fact that Four of Pentacles has an aspect of pulling back, which is interesting. Seventh house is Queen of Pentacles. I always think about that as the person who minds their own business and takes care of their own business. So it's really a time when people are pulling back, being responsible for their own lives, but they're also saying, no, you don't have to have a relationship with people that are abusive or destructive to you, particularly if you see no growth, you see no change in that person. And the only thing that's happening when you help them is they drag you down. Yeah, here again, your hope and concern, justice, and I would say this is somebody who if you put all that love and attention and care that you have given to people who don't respect and appreciate you towards your own dreams and visions, you'd be a very happy person. The final outcome here is the Empress, which again denotes a kind of environmental. This is people are not interested in having arguments. They're interested in going back to their garden and seeing how their radishes are doing. It's about reestablishing our relationship to the earth, because if we don't have that, we ain't got nothing, right? So it all goes back to the earth. We all come from the earth. We all go back to the earth. Six of Pentacles is about justice, but who gets my money and who doesn't? There's certainly an aspect here. I mean, you can see here your karma card holding your money. Where does my money go? Being the business person concerns what they sit in: money, legacy, and family. And then here walks the archetype of the King of Swords crossing. That's about boundaries and cutting off and terminating relationships. At the very least, having boundaries with certain people. Watch sobriety. The group also has don't do too many donuts. Man, I can only do one. I'm sensitive to fried foods. I don't do any coffee. But even coffee I've reduced because I'm on this Pitta cleanse. Anyway. Be temperance in all things, tend your own garden. It's always the same thing. The love that you showed him, you should be showing your mother. Gaia. The love that you showed her, get back to the garden. Work, 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 work. Mastery, work on yourself. If he comes crawling back, hand him a shovel and tell him to dig. She comes crawling back, hand her a shovel and tell her to dig. I mean, really, the focus, the way to save the planet, the way to save the marriage, the way to save the family is to get our priorities straight. That's basically what Gaia is saying. It starts with, how is your garden tending? Have you tended your garden? What's your garden look like? I can't have. Well, do you have flowers in your home? Have you made your home beautiful? This is kind of like Lady Bird Johnson, the beautification. There's actually something spiritual in that. It's also can be dangerous because the more beautiful I make my home, the less I want to go anywhere. Right? All right. So whenever people are ready, we'll do some blitzes. I think we'll stay till about 1. Donations are most appreciated for the charity United Nations Hunger Relief for Ukraine and the world. And we have an order for a blitz away. We had some great questions. People wanted to see, first off, how Putin's health is. If you put the red question mark, that's going to make it a lot easier for me to see it. Oh, actually, before that, you guys wanted me to see if I could do a thing on Trump because of the vision I had of number 45 in the phone, and I think it's over with him. I do, just because, I mean, when you're so desperate that you are calling Pat Cipollone, oh my god. Can you imagine if he did talk to him? That means that Cipollone is gonna have to tell the January 6th commission, God, this is crazy. Can you believe it? So that testimony is coming out Tuesday, and then there's something coming on Thursday, right? Crazy. All right. Yeah, Paul, I can do that. Let's just see. I think it's over. I think that he made a deal already with New York. I think they closed the case. I think he confessed to everything, which is why he now they put it all over for economic stuff that he's going to have to pay. He has to do the deposition. I think the January 6th and Georgia he didn't make a deal with those two things, which means he's completely vulnerable. That's why he's not in power. The Republicans are not in power anymore. So basically, it's like they've got 2 months to take this guy out. He's not running for anything. Well, they say Cipollone did not take the fifth. He was very forthcoming, and did not contradict. So it's over. And then you look at that vision of him with people trying to take the phone, trying to talk to Cipollone. God, how stupid can you be? If that happened, that tells me, number one, that he's out of control. No surprise there. Number two, that if he did call Cipollone, that Cipollone is going to tell them everything. And number three, they think his phone is tapped. So when you get a vision like that in the meditation, write it down, and then you can go back and try and figure out what it means. But they're building a case, but to be honest with you, he gets out on health. I think you can see here building a case, but he's got health concerns. It's his main karmic issue. I wonder if his health can hold out. He's in his 70s. He eats a horrible diet. They're going after his money. They also are saying that there is money associated with him in the form of bribes, which is not public information, that they've located, and they're going to sit him down and ask him about those accounts. So let's meditate about this, because this is new information. Think about that. They've located accounts, offshore accounts, that what did they say in the last remote? Does everybody remember the last remote? When we find these accounts, if we don't understand what this company is doing, we will assume what? We will assume it's a bribe until proven otherwise. Yeah. Digging the money. So it's, oh, we didn't know you had an offshore shell account in the Cayman Islands that was opened in 2016 by bin Zayed. Why did bin Zayed open a shell account? Why did Putin open an account? That now see what starts to happen, and now it helps us understand more of what Robert Mueller was talking about. These mega yachts, the deals, the shell companies. It also goes to what Malcolm Nance has talked about, because you kind of get what Malcolm Nance is saying, but then you do the remote and then you really get what Malcolm Nance is saying. They park these mega yachts in the Seychelles Islands and they basically sell intellectual and security information to foreign governments, and those foreign governments or those individuals open up money in a shell account to pay them as a bribe. And this goes back to what Robert Mueller had said. We couldn't get on the boats, and we knew what they were doing, but we had a hard time convicting them. So they found some accounts with this president. They found him and his cohorts engaging. This is evidence also against him. I think it's extra accounts. I think it's bribes he took from foreign governments. Yeah, look, he's facing jail. The main thing they're pointing to is the fact that he had foreign accounts and bribes both while he was a candidate and as a president. It's easy for me to see. You can see them building the case. You can see his health is a main concern for him. You can see he's holding on to his money. Then there's this dig starts to happen. Then the case against him of financial. That's pretty serious. This is not even public information, is it? Look at him in his third house facing jail. This is a prosecution card. It's a jail card. They have enough evidence against Trump. They'll be ready to present evidence within 1 month about accounts that were not registered with the feds. 1 month. Regarding the evidence, heavy load of evidence, 10 of wands, entering into 6th house, 1 month. Any questions so far? Well, he's fighting in Ukraine, but also when you remote view him, he's coordinating the buildup of what would become NATO in Ukraine, which is what happened. They were just biding time. But a lot of the people went in were establishing the roots of what would become NATO's ground troop and their air and missile defense, which is happening now. And they're now saying, we get the news 3 to 6 weeks early. So, yeah, so we're there. Now they're publicly saying they're going in. And it goes back also to us seeing Sweden a couple months ago. Why we kept seeing Sweden coming in, it was because of blocking the skies. But they also needed to put missiles in Poland and Romania. Interesting. So, magician, he can always pull something out of his hat. He's the magician. Oh, there's the feds. There's the FBI. That's the FBI's card. Final outcome for him. He's confused. Everybody took off. Oh, look at this. He's facing poverty. Poverty card in his 7th house. So he's lost the war. He's going to be wiped out financially. Keep saying the same thing, though. They take all of his money, but he's not going to do jail time because of health problems. What do you think? So, yeah, it's over. I mean, the good news is you don't have to be afraid of him in 2024 since it's already over. I have a question. They've done this before to him too, haven't they? They've taken his phone away in the past, haven't they? But think about how I just can't get over that. If that vision is true, and it seemed like it is, how insane it is when your lawyer is agreeing to talk that you are gonna have do you think that so I guess we'll find out about it on Thursday, the conversations oh my god! So on Thursday, we'll probably get the verification of the or no, Tuesday or Thursday, we'll get the verification that Trump had been calling him. I can't believe it. Oh, it's fun to be a remote viewer. I love my job. Will he lose the presidential title? No, I don't think so. I never saw anything like that. Um, it's not that kind of an energy. It's more that he will be remembered as a president that did some good things. Republicans will think of him as doing some good things, but that he lost his mind and then he got COVID. They will create a narrative around it, just like they did with Nixon, that Nixon was a nice guy, make up mistakes. That's kind of how it is. All right, so now we're gonna take a look at Putin and the war. There's still a chance they could do something frantic. Be I mean, what it looks like to me is like they don't have it's like when you go into Russia's energy, "We ain't got no money, honey." I mean, it's really feels that way. They don't have any more money. From where? From where are they gonna pay for this war? From what money? From what source? From the oil? The oil doesn't go to the state. The oil is mostly pocketed by individuals that don't pay their taxes, right? So how is that going to help Russia right now? The oligarchs are getting rich, but the state isn't. They took everything. And so you can't have a sustained war if you took everything, if you took all the money. That's basically it. I don't know about that, Dee Dee. We can look at it. It's really embarrassing. It's the United Nations is not going to stop against Russia. Russia has to stop its military advance against Ukraine. The United Nations is everybody's on the same page. NATO's on the same page. And if you have business dealings or secret meetings with Putin and Russia, it will not bode well for you. So what they're also saying is they're warning people that have future contracts with him that he might not be able to fulfill those future contracts. So that would be a heads up to India. That would be a heads up to Turkey. Like, we can't guarantee any kind of stability with any country that he's made any kind Syria, China. These relationships that you have are as stable as tissue paper. You have these alliances, but it's a mess. In war, we think of the Six of Cups as my alliances, right? The people that are going to battle with me. But no, it's a mess. Now, in terms of what NATO is saying, first off, they're broke. Take money from here to pay there. Take money from there, Two of Pentacles, which is a card that denotes they're really broke because they took it. But you can see here over NATO, the 8th house, Ace of Pentacles or Ace of Swords, victory in wartime. So this is NATO. So look, this is Putin and his allies. This is NATO. The other thing about NATO, over the Two of Pentacles, the trickster. Here's the other thing, the hope and fear. This lady, this is the head of the UN, right? Is she also the head of the bankers? This is a badass. This woman from NATO, whoever she is, she comes carrying a sword. So this woman is going to war. This is a badass. And it's the ethos, right? The ethos. They're at war. Final outcome, this is the part that's embarrassing. Russia has to pay back the economic hardship that they caused to Ukraine if they want to ever be brought back into Europe again. But the problem is they don't have any money, so they're going to have to pay it off in oil reserves and everything else because they're bankrupted. It's very embarrassing. You could see it here by August. They're going to have to come up with economic restitution. Can see it here. Let's talk about it because I think there's spiritual lessons for all of us that have been with the group for about 4 or 5 years now. 5 if you were with the private group, found us through Facebook. 4 if since we've been on YouTube. But I just want to throw the floor out to the floor. If you were Putin, what would you do? You're surrounded. You can't. You've got a no-fly zone now being held up. They're telling you they're coming in and they're going to decimate you by August 15th. If you fire weapons, they'll intercept them with long-range missiles, and it could potentially rain down on your own people. You're bankrupted the entire country. There's no money left in the defense or anywhere else because Janine, yeah, Two of Pentacles, right? The juggler, the coin juggler. So what do you think? What would you do? Would you act out and just start bombing people and then end up blowing your own country up? Or would you humiliate yourself and have your tail between your legs and withdraw? That's what people want to know. Yeah, and the only thing that Putin has to look forward to is they want him in The Hague. They're very determined. They don't want anybody else to get an idea like Putin. So what does Putin have to look forward to? International charges, right? So why not blow it? But I don't think that's going to happen. People are like, maybe that's why the world is weeping in the fall. I hope not. I don't think so. I think people are weeping in the fall because this whole thing is emotionally exhausting and people are broke. And until inflation comes down, I don't think the president should be making people pay student loans. I think that what is it, August? People have to start paying student loans back? I don't know. Okay, hi Mark. Good to see you, my friend Mark here. Gavin Newsom announced he plans to run for president in 2024. Do you see that happening? Would he win? That's interesting. I think we all know deep down who Biden wants to have run. He wants, it's not Harris. I think that he and Harris have some really serious ideological differences. He's not willing to be as left as Harris, particularly when it comes to who he puts on the Supreme Court. Some of his future ideas about the Supreme Court are starting to genuinely scare people. He's like, well, maybe we need to go with a conservative. No, we don't need to go with a conservative. So those kinds of things I think, create some tension between Biden and Harris. I think I'm more aligned with Harris politically. Whereas you have someone like Buttigieg, who is strong on military and probably, even though he wouldn't publicly say so, would prefer someone that's slightly more conservative like Buttigieg, because Buttigieg is right politically, and he would be reaching across the aisle in terms of funding the military. And a lot of people didn't want Buttigieg because they felt like he was going to be gung ho on building up the military. So the weird thing about Gavin Newsom is that he's married to Don Jr.'s ex-girlfriend, which it didn't last. Oh, well. Which leads people to think, what's wrong with Gavin Newsom? You know, like, what was that about, you know? Okay, let's see. Future of Gavin Newsom. Oh my God. Good to see you here, Geocosmic Valentine. Hopefully you're still doing some great video. I'd like you to do, if you could do like, have you done one on Charles yet? She's a really good astrologer and remote viewer. If you're looking for, if you want to get an astrology chart done by a remote viewer, check out Geocosmic Valentine. She's excellent, excellent. Gavin Newsom really gets into this for the right reasons. He actually comes to kind of heal the situation. Page of Cups, Archangel Raphael is with him. He's worried about Biden. You know, it's interesting to go into Gavin Newsom's energy, because Gavin Newsom's energy is, I'm worried about you. He comes with the Page of Cups to, there's Biden. And then here, the Hope and Fear, Six of Cups. Like, he feels that the Democrats need some help. Three of Wands, he feels like he's established. So as a governor, if nothing else, the governor of California with one of the strongest economies out there, he feels like this desire to help. But yeah, he could win if he goes with a Latino running mate. If there's an opportunity for him to run, he could win. His cards are actually pretty good. You can see here, healing, slow and steady wins the race. Something about King of Cups and a partnership. Hopes and fears, old alliances and grief. But look at this, Three of Wands establishing his wish, and Ace of Cups. So if he chooses to run, well, it would unite Texas and California. And if he wanted to unite Texas and California, he would pick someone, possibly a Latino running mate from Texas. If he does that, then he would, if that ticket would win, because then you could potentially take Texas. Yeah. We can do one more. Is Linda going to be on today? I don't want to interrupt her time. I want to respect other readers that are going live today. Hi, Carla. Welcome to Elders and Empaths. Good to see you. Thanks for the being a member. He's probably doing a research thing, but it didn't come out like competitive with Archangel Raphael in the first house. He's not being competitive. He's saying that he's really strategically worried about California, Texas, the extreme right. He feels that for whatever reason, he could unite the entire West all the way into Texas. He feels he can do it. Probably, does he speak Spanish? Probably because he wants to connect with the Latino community, I would think. We'll take a look at Giuliani, and then we'll call it a day. Does anybody know if other readers are is Linda going on later today? I just want to respect the other readers. Gavin Newsom has baggage, yeah. But at least he was coming from a right place. Well, the Cubans have a different history. So it's different than, say, Mexico or the social workers. Like the Catholic Workers News was reaching out to poor Irish and Latino people, had a socialist aspect to it, which is a different community. Oh, I don't know about that. Okay, what were we doing next? We were doing... Oh. We weren't doing Gavin. We were doing Giuliani. I accidentally pinned the wrong thing. Oh, yeah, Giuliani's heart. There we go. Did everyone have a most pleasant brunch today? All right. Well, I don't see him passing anytime soon. I do see him cooperating. Look, he's got to take care of his health, but yeah, his alliances are under question. You can see taking it slow and steady, dealing with his health. His alliances, you can see here a judgment with the devil card, hopes and fears, his connections, right? 3 of Wands, final outcome. He's going to cooperate. You can see here also the Fool. Giuliani will cooperate with a federal investigation. He tries to lie. You know, these are the types of guys that learned early on that they can lie and drag somebody along with their BS, those types of folks. And they both face lie to you and they make you angry, but you can't prove they're lying. And it's this type of game that people like this play. And it's a game that Giuliani's played his whole life and he's gotten away with it his whole life. And now you just can't play those games when you're sitting down with federal officers or you're dealing with a deposition from, from the feds, which is where it looks like it's headed. I don't know if he'll do prison, though, because these are old people. They got away with it their whole entire lives. The best we can hope for is to clean them out financially, I would think. They have his phone. Gosh, that's so weird because Lama Bryant talking about his phone, because in the vision with him, he was trying to reach him. He was like this. I mean, God, how old are you? And the people were taking Trump's phone. That must have just happened right when Pat Cipollone was testifying, or the day before he testified. That must have happened, and we'll probably hear about it on Tuesday. Because usually when I get a remote and I'm safe to report it, it's already happened or is about to happen. I mean, we don't give remotes that are going to put people's life in danger, but it'll be very funny to see if it comes out on Tuesday. And when it does, we'll have a big laugh, right? But it's going to be, I thought the Tuesday was the special one with Cipollone and the Thursday was the scheduled. And then they said they were probably going to extend. I see them extending possibly into August. Getting hot in here. We got to think the cool thoughts, right? It's getting hot in here. So, yeah, cool. Yeah, witness intimidation, but to see him actually doing it, I mean, God, what a bunch of crazies. Tuesday is the Oath Keepers. Okay, so, and we talked about how that's going to go back to straight towards the intelligence. I assume the stuff later in the investigation is all going to be about how our security was compromised. But Thanks, Michael Brossman. Good to see you here, by the way. Yeah, just breathe. I didn't expect Sergey Lavrov to come in. People are like, "What? Why is Lavrov talking to you? Just turn it off." I'm like, "I can't turn it off." Uh, I was doing long form. I was having trouble sleeping on the boat because I don't know why. But anyway, I was sitting on the boat and I was doing long form HCRV. I tried to originally I was just gonna do a basic meditation, and then I must have sensed the energy of Lavrov being upset. I'm an empath. Aw. Well, what happens to an empath when they're meditating and thinking about somebody? You wind up in a remote, right? "Oh, you're upset about what?" And then, "Oh, what a fish is rotting? What?" Next thing you know, I've got then I had to go and give you guys the remote. All right, love and light. If you're trying to get in for a reading, please check out the information below this video. Also, if you just need a taped 5-minute question, I am going through the Wizios. I think it costs $20 for a quick 5-minute taped question. Um, I think those are nice. I like Wizio actually because it's like, 5 minutes and it's not particularly expensive. And also if you you can test to see if you like the reader and then you can always come in for a longer reading. So I like the Wizios. I think they're affordable. They're easy for the reader to do. The also it's pre-recorded because a lot of people want to have their questions recorded. Yeah, and then the longer readings, that information's tarotwithwhimsy.com. That information's below. Oh, Debbie, thank you. All right, be safe, be well, everyone. And I will see you next time. Thanks for the support, everyone. And again, thank you all for the donations to the UN Relief Fund. We are very grateful. All right, take care.